what it's telling you. And maybe you've experienced a divorce or a breakup. Maybe you've experienced a divorce or a breakup. Maybe you're planning to be an empty nester. Maybe you're considering retirement, or you're looking at relocating and even looking for a different job to make a career change. So you may feel like you've reached the peak in one area of your life, but you aren't quite where you want to be in other aspects of your life. Either way, the core of your being is what knows everything. And it's likely been whispering to you, telling you that there's so much more for you, but that you just haven't either recognized the soul whispers from your heart, or maybe you have, but maybe you're a little afraid or uncertain about what it's telling you and what next steps could be for you. So we will dig into heart-led passion, which could be a new concept, and you might want to know more about what it means. So let me ask a quick question. Have you ever experienced a time in your life where you thought you knew everything? And yeah, I said where you thought you knew everything. I did. I got married at 23 years old, a year after graduating college. At that time, we're all still quite young, just figuring out life as we emerge from being a fresh college graduate. So taking a step to get married in my case was definitely premature, although at that time it made all the sense in the world. So if you too have made any decisions that you made when you were really young, let's just kind of dig into this a little bit more. So I'm no stranger to experiencing personal challenges. And I suspect that because you were interested enough to register for this live event, that you too have experienced some personal challenges. I am Leisha Thompson, and I am a certified leadership and personal growth coach, guiding professionals through personal reinvention to gain clarity, balance, and heart-led passion. So as I stated, there was a time when I experienced divorce, followed by providing caregiving for both of my parents back to back within a few months. And also during that time, raising two younger children, while still simultaneously attempting to continue to advance my career. I began in the insurance industry a few years after college as a liability and casualty claims adjuster trainee, and then through the years moved over to the self-insured workers' comp side, where I became the work comp national return to work, managed care, and vendor relations director at Macy's Bloomingdale's corporate headquarters. During that time, it wasn't everything moving simultaneously became challenges. And all full transparency, there really were no breaks in the number of years. I didn't have much time. Once one situation resolved, it seemed shortly thereafter, I found that my life then included a different personal challenge. And so just trying to figure out how to navigate through all of that, it took me a while to learn how to be quiet, how to sit down, how to place myself in an area physically with limited distractions, to be still, to learn how to practice mindfulness or prayer. In my case, a little of both, but I lean heavily toward prayer. I've learned that that is an asset for me to continue to grow, because one can't know everything, right? So you always have opportunities to continue to get better, to improve. And so becoming a heart-led person, seeking to learn how to really, really lean heavily into learning what my soul was telling me, learning from intuition and from answered prayer, wanting guidance for next steps forward, became something that was a core value and still is, which is why I'm sharing today. Now, becoming heart-led became a passion for me. And it actually is what led to my ability to sit down and craft a manuscript during the pandemic, which then became a published book for me titled When Your Soul Whispers: Strategies for Leaders to Redefine Values and Move Forward After Life's Transitions, which is available on my website at www.leishathompson.com. Now, I would hear other people say, God spoke to me, or I'm led by my faith. And I started to wonder, well, how is that happening for you? He's not speaking to me. And so how do you know? How do you know what to do to make that happen for you? Or how do you know how to truly dig into your intuition at will when you want to just sit with that so that clarity can begin to form? And because it wasn't happening naturally for me, I began to search to understand what I needed to change so that I too could receive the benefits that many others had shared that they believed. And so one Sunday, I remember joining an adult Sunday school class. This is after I had children and had been married, but I stayed after class like any good student would when you have a one-to-one type of question that you want to ask the instructor. And so I asked, what do I need to do? Because others are receiving something that I want, but I'm not receiving it. And after a few questions, my teacher asked, his recommendation was that I'm too busy. I'm on the highway, rush hour traffic after I drop my girls off at school. I'm rushing to get downtown to start my workday. And I think that I'm, being intentional about tapping into intuition or prayer while I'm driving on the interstate. Well, it can't work that way. So he stressed that I make a few changes, find somewhere comfortable to sit down, and then eventually be still. Breathe in deeply, exhale. Whatever it is you need to do to settle yourself to get to a relaxed and calm state is where you physically want to be so that your intuition, or your conversations with God can begin to flow. And so as I began practicing that, I then added pen and paper because I like to still write before I actually do things online. And so once I added the note taking and was able to see patterns, that's when my life began to change. I still practice this. And now that I'm self-employed, I control the time of day that I choose to do things. So I tend to start most days with a workout, followed by prayer and meditation and journaling. And so if it doesn't work for you first thing in the morning, no worries. Find the time that works for you and then really try to create a habit of doing so daily. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to center yourself in that way. And so subtle clarity begins to form, and then you're able to redefine, reimagine what it is that's important for you at this time in life as you are moving forward away or through any personal challenges that you've experienced. So I then, through my own faith walk, experienced the power of becoming heart-led through my personal reinvention by focusing on reinventing from the inside out as it transfers from personal through how you show up professionally as well. So has anyone watching or listening to the sound of my voice experienced that you thought you had it all together on the inside, yet on the outside, you actually were a little confused or maybe scared to make any changes in your life? Maybe you were uncertain about how to take the next steps forward, or you didn't even know what those steps should entail. However, you knew, you were fully present and aware that there was something more for you after whatever that personal challenge was that you experienced. So if that's you, and you again thought you had it all together on the outside, but you knew on the inside that there was more, and that perhaps your soul was guiding you in a different direction, but you hadn't gotten full clarity. If so, then I want you to just add in the comments, just say, "That's me looking for clarity." Now, through the years, as I began to pursue identifying what it was that was much greater on the horizon, I began to, I kind of hit and miss. There were times when I was intentional, and then there were times when I let life get in the way, as often happens with all of us. Now, once I really, really became much more serious about quieting myself, I have learned that it has become so much easier to receive guidance from my soul. And so again, just want to call out to you that that's why and how I chose to name my book When Your Soul Whispers, because basically it is a whisper. On the front end, it is a whisper, which is why you have to be still and intentional. I'm totally blown away now, today, where things are in my life, doing the type of work that I do. And it's an honor and a privilege to share strategies today with you so that you too can become heart led beginning today. Now, we as humans have a tendency to hear lots of experts talking about strengthening your mindset. And I used to talk about it too, and I still do because it is important. There are benefits to redirecting and or redefining your thought processes. So hopefully you've noticed, again, I'm using heart led, heart led, heart led. Quite a few times I'm referring to heart led, intentionally emphasizing that this is a way to trust that you too will learn to become more intentional. So next I want to introduce, and maybe you've heard of this, but I want to introduce a step-by-step guide to you. It's a process called heart-led mapping. And it involves how you align your renewed vision with purpose to make sure that you lead with passion and balance as you gain clarity in the areas of your life personally that you are seeking to strengthen. So if you want this strategy, type strategy in the comments. Now here, let's get started with some steps that you can either listen to this on the replay or take notes. But we talked already about quieting the noise so that you can practice just being silent and calm. But now I want you, as you quiet the noise, external noise and internal chatter, I want you to practice thinking about gratitude, things that happen every day. There is something that happens daily that you can be grateful for. Becoming intentional over time, you will start to see things differently. So when you focus on gratitude, you begin to look for things that have occurred for which you are grateful. With a habit, you won't have to search because it'll start to just become ever present. So that's one step, quieting the noise to practice gratitude. And this is in a world that we live in full of multi-faced, ever-present distractions and challenges. So you may set aside 10 minutes a day in the morning to practice gratitude, to pray, to tap into your intuition, whichever works for you. But again, I'm stressing, create a habit. And then follow where that intuition or where God leads you through prayer. Follow that heart led from your spirit. In the beginning, these whispers may seem small and faint, but the more you practice, the more in tune and louder they can become within your soul. And that's what truly matters. In my personal life, it's what led me to ask for a severance to leave my corporate job so that I could launch my own business. And then that led to writing and publishing my book. Now, when we're talking about journaling as step 3, reflecting on your thoughts, and I want to encourage you to also reflect on your emotion. People don't often talk about the importance of being in touch with your feelings. And so I'm here to change the narrative. I want you to know what your feelings are. Write down what emotion you're having every day. At some point, just check in with yourself. Now, once you begin to look at being still, thinking of your thoughts, identifying the emotion, you may be feeling great, wonderful, and excited. Write that down. You may have moments or days where you're feeling a little confused. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Write that down so that you can see patterns over time. Your soul, your heart is fertile soil. And so you want to know how to grow it. You want to practice how to grow that even more. Now, step 4, mindful movement. What does that mean? We've been talking about tapping into your soul whispers. We've touched on following your mindset and enhancing it, making it stronger. And now I want to introduce mindful movement, whether that's yoga. It could be HIIT training like I tend to do. Some people prefer to take walks in nature. All of these are good, but adding physical movement to what you're already doing as far as practicing gratitude and mindfulness makes it even a better strategy, a stronger way to gain the clarity, the balance, and whatever it is that you're seeking can be enhanced when you add mindful movement to also tapping into your heart soul whispers. And then 5, vision boarding. These are all options that I'm mentioning. Take from it what you will, as long as you focus on what your needs are and your desires. And so vision boarding, we all know that that means creating a visual representation of where you want to go next or what changes you want to make in your personal life so that you can show up differently personally and professionally as a leader of self, leader of teams and processes in your career. Now, mapping your priorities, as in step 6, map your priorities. So once you identify your core desires, then begin to think about what's most important regarding how you are currently existing. On one side, I suggest that you title it Heart's Desires. On the other side, that's where you list actions that you commit to yourself that you will take to honor your heart desires daily. Ask yourself if your daily actions actually align with the desires of your heart. And if you can't do this daily, you pick the cadence that you can commit to. So whether it's twice a week, once a week, whatever it is, but I want you to create habits. Here's another strategy. Find or create your own accountability circle. And what that means is that you weren't meant to do a personal reinvention alone. And so it's a great idea to surround yourself with friends or family or a faith-based community with people who have also personally reinvented. It's a great way to share strategies, to bounce ideas off, or to find out what they did to make things happen maybe faster if that's your goal. And then in the workplace, you want to lead with empathy because heart-led leaders understand the importance of empathy and prioritizing the well-being of others as well as for yourself. Now, if you are one who is at a place in life where you would like some objective accountability so that you can continue to progress, I'm happy to become your accountability partner so that you can work on your heart led life changes in a consistent manner without giving up. Doing so, you will benefit by having greater clarity, faster, and easier. You will receive enhanced professional, heart led fulfillment as well. And peace during times of uncertainty. Increased resilience helps you to also bounce back quicker from any setback that you may encounter faster. And then it really helps you to break the cycle of needing external validation. If you happen to have been a person who now recognizes that that's something that you previously, maybe even unknowingly, subscribed to. And so we don't want to need external validation because we want to be heart led and leading our own lives forward and being true to ourselves. So I want to talk with you and invite you also, before we close out, if you are a person who recognizes that in the US, we are in the fourth quarter of the year, and we are also in a pivotal election year. And so this election is on the horizon, will be fast approaching, and there are all different sorts of feelings that individuals have expressed around it. So I'm just encouraging you again to tap into leading with your heart. And if you are someone who's ready to make changes in your life now so that you're not waiting until the new year, because you can start now so that you're ready to start the new year with a different mindset combined with your heart-led desires having already been identified. You may be interested in knowing that I have a program that's called Rise, and I'm happy to have just recently received my first trademark on this program. And so Rise is an acronym for Renew, Ignite, and Soar with Excellence. And I am offering one-to-one support for a 90-day period. And this is how it works quickly. After a 60-minute discovery call, you and I will prioritize what you decide you want to work on. And then you'll have the ability to text or to leave me a voice message 24/7 during the 90-day period. Now, there may be times where I'll give you an assignment so that it reinforces something that we've worked on or talked about. Now, when you complete that assignment and notify me, you can then schedule a 20-minute Zoom so that we can actually sit down face to face to continue working through whatever it is that whatever your goals are that we've initially identified. And so I am offering for anyone who listens to this presentation or who is present here today, a 10% discount for being present and maybe you've experienced a divorce or a breakup. Maybe you're planning to be an empty nester. Maybe you're considering retirement, or you're looking at relocating and even looking for a different job to make a career change. So you may feel like you've reached the peak in one area of your life, but you aren't quite where you want to be in other aspects of your life. Either way, the core of your being is what knows everything. And it's likely been whispering to you, telling you that there's so much more for you, but that you just haven't either recognized the soul whispers from your heart, or maybe you have, but maybe you're a little afraid or uncertain about what it's telling you and what next steps could be for you. So we will dig into heart-led passion, which could be a new concept, and you might want to know more about what it means. So let me ask a quick question. Have you ever experienced a time in your life where you thought you knew everything? And yeah, I said where you thought thought you knew everything. I did. I got married at 23 years old, a year after graduating college. At that time, we're all still quite young, just figuring out life as we emerge from being a fresh college graduate. So taking a step